problem, and we stopped in the previous video, code 1, with the trying to figure out when S1 is not a smallest or and also not the largest. And let's take a look again at that expression, and I made a mistake here and I'll mention that quickly. So what we're looking for here is that when we compare S1 to the smallest, if that is not true, what this will do is, if you say S1 equal dot compare to smallest equals 0, if they are not, if S1 is not the smallest, this expression will evaluate to false. So when it evaluates to false, when we negate that, that becomes true. So that's the first true. So that means that S1 is not smallest. Now if S1 is not largest, this also will evaluate to false. But we don't want the false, we want the true. So we negate that as well. So when S1 will be middle? S1 will be middle if the comparison was the smallest and not false, which means this part is true, and this part is also true. Only when this happens that S1 can be assigned to middle. So what we want here is not really the OR, but the AND operator. It's very important that you review the PowerPoint on chapter 5 and review the if-else statements and the relational expressions from chapter 5 before you get into that part. Alright, so now we figured out if S1 is not the smallest nor the largest, then it will be the middle. What if it is actually the smallest? What if when we compare S1 with the smallest, that actually brings true? So when we negate it with the not operator, it becomes false. So the S1 will not be the middle, which means that the middle should be either S2 or S3. So if that's the case, then we say else if, and we repeat the same thing but for S2. So we say else if, and we can just copy the same thing for S2, comparing the S2 with the smallest. Now when we knew that S1 is not our comparison anymore, so we look for S2, and then we say and not S2 dot compare to largest 0, and close the expression, and then we say, and I am missing the open parentheses here. You see how it turned red to tell me I'm trying to close something that is not open, and if that's the case, the middle will be S2. Alright, so if S1 is either the smallest or largest, then it means that S2, that's the one we check. So we check S2, and that becomes the comparison here. And I can write some comment here that we say check if S2 is not the smallest nor the largest, then it should be the middle. What if S2 is either smallest or largest, which means that S1 is the smallest or largest, S2 is the smallest or largest, so which one should be the middle? That leaves us directly to S3 without even trying to make any comparison, because there are only 3 of them, so we just say else middle equal S3. Alright, so if the first expression is false, meaning that S1 is either smallest or largest, and the second expression is also false, meaning S2 is either smallest or largest, then the remaining string has to be the middle, without even making any comparison. So this is the ordering of the string, and after this method finishes this check and this decision making, the 3 variables that we have here, which we can obtain by calling get smallest, get largest, get middle, those 3 will contain the smaller one of the three strings that the user delivered, the largest and the middle. So this concludes the development of the string group data type. This is a user-defined data type that encapsulates three strings, knowing at all times that these three strings, which one of them is the smallest, the largest, the middle, that has the capability to initialize itself and the capability to give you which one of those, and an internal capability to make that decision. So the next step is to use the app class in order to perform the other functions, which is return, get an input from the user and the output, and so on. So this class will represent the app and will ask the user to enter. So we say here, read from the user three strings. So we'll define those strings. So we say string s1 equal, and we can say that well, we can start by defining a scanner. Declare a scanner object. You can either use a scanner or J option pan. So we can say scanner input equal new scanner, and this is a scanner that will read from the system that input. A scanner will require you to import java.util that's scanner. Then you can use the scanner to say string s1 equal input dot next line, and you can prompt the user by printing a message that says enter the first string, and repeating this again. So I'll just copy and paste, but instead of s1 I'll make this s2 and this s3, and instead of the first string I'll make this the second string, and I will make this the third string. Now that I read from the user, I want to declare and create a string group object. So I say string group, my group, or give it any name you want, equal new string group, and pass to it the s1, s2, and s3. Now string group will require you to import the package. Then after that step, you display to the user the the ordered strings. So I will say that system.out, or we can define or create the string output equal you entered, and then continue, and we will continue that in the next video.